Hey guys, so today I'm here and I'm going to be doing a Worth the Hype review on the ABH Prism Palette. This is what the palette looks like. I recently did a get ready with me, if you guys saw that, and I did use this palette. I've also used it 2 more times since, so just a total of 3 times, so I'm putting it out there. But I do have enough of an opinion on this palette. Other Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, if you guys would like to. Of course, the Modern Renaissance, it's an all-time fave. Look at mine's, my palette's so gross. Absolutely love this palette. This palette is so stunning. Beautiful warm tone palette. One of my favorite palettes, honestly, is this palette. Next up, we have either the Love It or Hate It Subculture palette. If you guys have been on my channel, you guys know I actually love this palette. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but I love it. I think the shadows are absolutely gorgeous. This color selection, like this palette selection for colors, is just absolutely amazing. This is a different formula than the Modern Renaissance, so if you are expecting it to be the same, they are not. But here's those 2 palettes next to one another here. And I'm going to keep the subculture up, and this is the Prism. We have the Prism palette, and here we have the subculture. And as you can see, there is some similar tones in this. Some are just more vibrant or more muted, depending on which palette you are looking into. They are not exactly the same, but there is some similarities. But I don't know. It really depends on what you want. This one has more matte tones. This one has more of the shimmers. But yes, I was actually a person who actually loved this subculture palette. Get on to the Prism palette. I think this palette is pretty good. Blendability wise, it is pretty good. It's not as pigmented as the subculture. So I would actually say this formula is actually, to me, it is different from both the Modern Renaissance and the subculture. So just putting that out there, at least in my opinion of using them, I think it's different from both of them. So take that or love it, leave it, whatever you like. However, this is a good palette, but I have a few gripes with it. And that's just that a few of these shades, like, they're beautiful, they blend, and they're enough pigment. Some you can build up a little bit more intensely. Like the shimmers, I like to take and use a little Max Fix Plus and give them more intensity. The only problem I have with it is just that, like, the shades like Dimension, Osiris, when you guys saw me use them, they tend to, like, fade away. Same with the Sphere shade. I know it's a neon color, and it's really cool, and I tried to do a look where I kind of, like, put it on my lower line, and, like, you can kind of see it here. It's just it fades really quickly. Like, that's almost like what it looks like after a few minutes of doing other parts of your makeup. It just tends to kind of, like, fade really quick, and I get it. It's a neon shade. That can be tricky. This Lure shade's stunning. I really like this Lucid shade. I think it's really awesome. Unity is a little bit darker when you swatch it than in the pan, but it is a beautiful, beautiful transition shade. Not an all-over tone unless you were a medium skin, but I mean, this is an okay palette. I'm not going to say it's amazing. I think I actually like, I like both of these palettes probably more than the Prism palette. Like I said, some people you might be more of a fan than this, than the subculture. It all depends on your preferences and all that. I think some of these are gorgeous. Like, I love this shade. It's called Throne. I think it's beautiful. It does look more like, it almost looks like a little bit like green in the pan, where it has like that green undertone, but when you put it on, it's almost like a charcoal color with like mixed colored glitters. But I will say the Osiris and Dimension shade kind of did disappoint me. But this shade, it's Eternal. This is so beautiful. It's like a beautiful, wet looking shadow. And Sphinx as well. This one is kind of a little bit, gotta kind of rub this one a little bit more, but this one's also very wet looking. I do use Fix Plus for all these to help get these more bumped up. If not, I feel like how they are in my fingers, I want it to look like that in my eye, so I will use Fix Plus to bump them up. Oh, Pyramid is gorgeous as well. If you actually touch these actually feel almost kind of wet. Pyramid is a little chunky, but it is a gorgeous shade. Let me just, they're gorgeous. They are, look at it, it's still on my fingers. They are very gorgeous. However, if you want them on your eye like that, I would recommend a Fix. Sadly, this Dimension shade, even with the little Fix Plus, kind of falls a little short, where it looks a little bit like, kind of like a purpley gray. When you get it on your eye, it just kind of ends up looking like, I don't know, just like a silver with glitter in it. Osiris can be really pretty, but I find it better if it stands out more by itself. Let me just put that there. kind of like a darker purple with glitter, but depending on how it looks, it can just look like you have just a dark shade until it's a purple. This Saturn color I actually think is really cool. Really like this color a lot. I don't know what it is about it, but I think it's beautiful. The other day I did a look where I did a little bit of pyramid in the front and Sphinx, did a little parallel in the V, used Unity as a transition, and then I had Saturn in the crease, and it looked stunning. Stunning. I'll swatch. It is super, super pigmented. I love all the mattes in it except for Sphere. I just kind of think Sphere is kind of just like a I don't know, it's a little chalky. It's hard to make neon, so I'm not going to judge it like that. I do overall, I like this palette, and I think if you like the tones in this, I think you'll like it. I think for a high-end palette around the $44 that it is, or $42, I think it's a great deal. Again, here are your shades, but yes, you will need a little Fix Plus to help kind of bamp them up a bit versus these two palettes. We don't really need Fix Plus. And so you guys can see, because I'm pretty sure they still have Prism available. I do like it. Just a few of the shades kind of like to fade on me a bit, but I will continue to like it. I would still recommend for you to go to Sephora, try it and see if you like these tones, and swatch them and see if you like them. You can get these to perform, minus like some of the shades where they won't pop as much on the eye, or they'll just look like see how these ones, they'll just look like two dark tones. You're not going to really see a difference really that much between Throne and Osiris. It will just look like dark shimmery shades, if that makes sense. But these are absolutely stunning, and if you guys are wondering, because you guys probably will want to ask, Obsidian is actually a great black. I mean, it's black. That's really hard to make, and it's hard to get a good black in the palette. I do wish there was a light tone other than like Lucid. Like Lucid is gorgeous. Like I said, I love it. Oh my God. If that was a highlighter, that'd be beautiful. But I wish there was like a matte, like off-white color or white, because I think that'd be perfect in this palette. But overall, in general, I would give this about like a 4 stars out of 5. 4 out of 5. Modern Renaissance gets 5 out of 5. Subculture, I would give Subculture a 4.25. So 4 and like a little bit of a star. So just a little bit over the Prism palette. It is really good, but it just isn't like as wowing as like my Kat Von D Saint Sinner, you know, trying the Tartelette Toasted, the Huda Beauty, like Desert Dusk. In comparison to those palettes that are all new that I've been using, I would probably put those above that one. But overall, it is a stunning palette. Again, I love, oh my God, I love this shade so, so much. But yes, I will be doing more looks at this, so if you guys are interested, let me know down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Alright, thanks guys.